You ever notice how some people show up to a first date like they're auditioning for the role of life partner forever and always? They've already picked the china pattern, they've decided what the grandkids are going to call you both, and you haven't even ordered your appetizers yet. Honestly, you're still trying to figure out if you want shrimp or an egg roll, and they've got you penciled into a retirement plan. Meanwhile, other people swing the opposite direction. They plop down like they're clocking into jury duty. No sparkle, no curiosity, just waiting for the check so they can say, well, I tried it, it's not for me. That's not a date, it's a hostage exchange. Both of these approaches, the sky high expectations and the flatline apathy, kill a connection before it even has a chance to start. One feels like pressure, the other feels like, oh, a yawn. Dating isn't supposed to feel like homework or a hostage negotiation, and if you're stuck in either mode, it starts to feel more like a chore than a chance. That's what we're talking about today. Why some of us set dates up to fail by putting too much on them, and why others are walking away already half asleep, and how to find that middle ground where dating actually feels fun again. If that sounds at all interesting, I hope you'll stick around, because that's what's on the agenda. My mother had a phrase for this. She called it the perfect stranger. Her theory was that when you meet somebody brand new, with no history, no track record, no receipts, your brain fills in all the blanks. They're perfect because they're a stranger, because you fill it in with all this perfectionism, all these things you really want in a partner, and until they prove you wrong, they're perfect, right? I've seen this over and over again with clients. They sit across from someone they find ridiculously attractive and they decide, oh, yeah, we definitely need a second date. And sure, attraction matters. It's the spark that makes you lean in instead of mentally checking out halfway through that appetizer of, shrimp or egg rolls. But attraction isn't a personality trait. It doesn't tell you if they're kind, doesn't tell you if they want kids or if they're ever going to text you back in under 72 hours. Chemistry feels like it should mean something permanent, but it's really just the first 10 minutes of a movie, and some of you are buying the t-shirt and writing fan fiction before the movie even makes it to the second act. Sparks are exciting, yes, but sparks without substance burn out fast. If you stop your evaluation at, but we had such a connection, you're basically saying, I liked the trailer, so I don't need to watch the rest of the movie. And we all know how many bad movies had great trailers. Don't let chemistry blind you to compatibility. Scarcity is another sneaky expectation trap. Some of you date so rarely that when you finally get a date, you treat it like the Olympics. This one better be the one because it's the only one you've had in months. And suddenly, without even meaning to, you've piled 2 months of loneliness and fear and hope onto one stranger. That's not a date. That's a pressure cooker. No human being looks good under that much weight. Scarcity makes us believe things that aren't true. You meet one person after a long drought, and suddenly you're telling yourself, maybe this is fate. Maybe it's meant to be. No, it's just timing. Don't confuse coincidence with compatibility. This is why I always tell you, keep dating, keep moving. The more people you meet, the more you normalize the process. The more people you meet, the more likely you are to meet somebody fantastic. When dating is part of your regular rhythm, you stop making any single date carry the weight of destiny. And that's when you actually enjoy it because you're not constantly grading each interaction like it's your only shot. So what happens when these inflated expectations meet reality? Oh, it's ugly. You go in convinced this person is a 10 out of 10 soulmate candidate, and then you find out they don't recycle, or they've never heard of your favorite band. Wait, did somebody just say recycling? I'm a huge fan of recycling. I rinse every jar and I sort every bottle. I drag that bin down to the curb like I'm saving the world. But every once in a while, there's a little wish cycling going on. You know, that moment where you toss something in the bin and you're just hoping that somehow miraculously there's a machine out there somewhere ready to transform it and give it a second life. And honestly, there's a little wishful thinking going on here, too. I see you. Some of you are just hoping you'll stumble across this channel again when you need it most. And sure, you could hope, Or you could simply hit that button and subscribe. That way you always know where to find me. For the coffee and the conversation, a little clarity, do it. Just go ahead and hit that button. I mean, hope is nice, but having a plan, way better. All right, now we can head on back to the episode. Why were they even talking about recycling? Or they actually want to move to a cabin off the grid while you want to live downtown. Suddenly the whole fantasy collapses, and it doesn't feel like a mismatch. It feels like a betrayal. But remember, they didn't betray you. They just didn't fit the picture you created in your own mind, the picture you painted in your head. That's on you. And this is why staying open and curious is so important. If you walk into a date with no expectations beyond, let's just see who this person really is, you can actually discover. You can be surprised. You can learn something. And sometimes you're just going to have to laugh about how different everybody really is than what you expected. They haven't ruined your 5-year plan. But if you walk in with a 20-point checklist already ticked off in your imagination, the real human in front of you doesn't stand a chance. Now let's flip the coin to the opposite problem, dating apathy. If high expectations are like sprinting into a date with your wedding playlist already picked out, apathy is walking in like you're attending a boring work meeting. It's showing up with zero energy, no curiosity, and no willingness to engage. Some of you are basically waiting for the waiter to say, "Motion to adjourn." Dating apathy often comes from burnout, if we're being honest. I mean, you've been disappointed, you've been ghosted a few times, you've been bored to tears, and now you're just kind of feeling over it. So you go on dates, but your heart's not in it. You're half listening and checking your watch, waiting for it to be over. Apathy is just as destructive as unrealistic expectations. Because when you show up like you don't care, the other person feels that. And nobody wants to invest in somebody who's already mentally checked out. You can't connect if you're too busy guarding yourself against disappointment. So how do you avoid these two extremes? You aim for the middle, obviously, the sweet spot. That space where you're open and hopeful and optimistic, but grounded in reality. That means you show up ready to learn, not ready to decide, and you stay curious about who they really are instead of assuming that you already know. You let yourself enjoy the chemistry, but you don't confuse it with compatibility. And you keep dating actively so that one person isn't carrying all your expectations. Think of it like gardening. If you plant one seed and you stare at it all day, willing it to grow, you'll be frustrated. But if you plant a whole garden and water them and let nature take its course, you'll see what thrives. And yeah, sometimes you'll grow weeds, but at least you're out in the sunshine instead of locked in the shed. Dating is the same. You can't force it. Don't expect instant harvest. You show up, stay present, and let the connection reveal itself in time. And by the way, that middle ground, it's actually the most fun because you're not weighed down by disappointment before it even starts. And you're not suffocating somebody else under the burden of perfection. You're just dating. And isn't that what this is supposed to be? At the end of the day, high expectations and dating apathy are both about fear. High expectations are fear of scarcity. What if I never meet somebody again? So this person just has to be it. Apathy is fear of disappointment. If I don't care, I can't really get hurt. But neither fear helps you build a relationship. They both keep you from messy, beautiful, unpredictable discovery. So rewrite your dating story. Instead of saying, this better be the one, or this is probably going to suck, try this as a chance to meet somebody new, to learn, to see what unfolds, see if I want to see them one more time. That's it. You have to keep this in mind. This is important. The only thing you're trying to glean from a first date is the ability to answer one question. Would I like to see this person one more time? That's it. That's the sweet spot. That's how you become not just a better dater, but a more balanced human in relationships. Okay, I hope you found that interesting or helpful. If you did, you might enjoy this episode here. I'm going to let YouTube pick it out for you. And before you go, please give Mom the thumbs up. It makes her day. And apparently now she thinks she should be listed as executive producer of the show. Don't forget to subscribe, because the next time you feel yourself swinging between unrealistic expectations and dating apathy, you might need a couple fresh tools. So come on back here and I'll help you out. I appreciate you hanging out with me today. And until next time, have a good one.